welcome to the Heart, Mind, and Voice Show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all? Hi, HMB fam. We are so happy to be here with you guys tonight. It's your girl, Coach Shalonda. We got our lady, Miss Queen A. And we got our very special co-host tonight, Mr. Donald, known as Don the Realist. Hello, sir.
How you doing?
We are so happy that you joined us tonight. Welcome. We're going to have a good time tonight. Hello, HMB fam. We miss you guys. We got something very special that we want to present to you. This is in honor of the happy holiday season. Our girl Series K couldn't be with us tonight because she had other special engagement, but she will be back next Saturday. So be sure to tune in and let's hear what Miss Series K got to say. Okay. She has a word to say. So, y'all, we're gonna let our producer bring in our something that we have dedicated just for our HMV fam. Hit it, Sandrine. There is a very special video just from the Heart, Mind, and Voice show dedicated just for you, HMB fam. We love you. We really
Yes.
hope to put a smile on your face tonight. So, are y'all ready to go ahead and get into the show? Because I'm ready. Did y'all have a good week?
Yeah.
Good week. Hello, hello. Tell
My
me
week
about
is
your week.
always, well, I'm not gonna say always, but my week has been good.
Mhm.
Some conversation I'm gonna save for Patreon, but my week has been good.
Oh, speaking of Patreon, HMB fam is lighting up. I'm telling you, better join while you can get in. We have different. I'm gonna let Queen A talk about it a little bit, but we do have different options for our HMB fam. So if I tell you, it's going to be some conversations to be had in Patreon, you do not want to miss. Queen A, give us a little bit of information on the
Sure. So
Patreon.
right now we have three tiers. We have a $3 tier, which is the basic tier for you to join, and you get in on maybe pre-conversation or the after conversation, the after show conversation, which is going to be some real hot topics where we deep dive into some real and raw nitty gritty conversations. Next, we have the $6 tier, which is a little bit more when you get if you consistent with us and you stay a part of the HMB family, you get a mug after I believe it's every quarter, right, Coach Yolanda?
Yep, every
So you
quarter.
get a mug, you get a T-shirt, and then you have the $20 tier, and it's a lot of great things for the $20 tier. So you want to take advantage of that. That's including all the other things from the previous tier, as well as we want to implement coaching and different things where you get to get in contact with one of us, and you choose which one you would like, and we will coach you and different things like that. So there's a lot of things that we're doing. So you
Yes,
definitely want to join in. We're going to be launching it very, very soon. It's already in effect, but we want you to come in and join in as soon as possible so we can start the conversation.
absolutely. And we're going to have some guests that comes in, just like our special co-host tonight will participate here and there. We're going to have some other special guests that's going to come into that Patreon, and you guys don't want to miss because we know some people. Anyway, let's get to our show tonight. Let's go ahead and talk about some of these topics. Before we get started, we do want to pay or acknowledge the loss of Nick Cannon's youngest son. I believe his little son was only 5 months old, and he had brain cancer, and so it's another word, but it's overall it's brain cancer for those that don't understand the medical term of it. And so he passed away this week. And so everybody, I'm sure, saw the video of Nick Cannon talking about it and everything. And I can't even imagine, I can't fathom losing a little 5 month, hadn't even just,
I know.
hadn't even turned, 6 months. So our hearts, our prayers, our thoughts, our love goes out to him and the mother. and their family, because this is definitely, and the siblings, because he had, I think he was the seventh child of Nick Cannon.
Wow.
I believe it was a six. Was it the sixth child? I believe.
Well, according to the reports, it was the seventh, but I don't know.
Wow.
He was the baby of, of the family of Nick Cannon's children. So
Okay.
I'm sure the siblings are, mourning to the loss of their little brother. So our thoughts and prayers go out to that family. So HMV, yes, let's get started now. Let's get started. Okay. Now, I want to talk about some of the things we subtitle our show tonight, Holiday News. I had the holiday blues, and if I tell you, some of the information that we can talk about is the blues, or come across as the blues. But it's like bringing awareness to the community,
Yes.
and so we can see and know and understand exactly what is going on and what we can focus our energy and attention on, as far as redirecting that bad energy and the people that are causing so much trouble and conflict. I want to start off first with the Oxford school shooting that happened in Michigan. So much to be said about that, and the children that lost their lives behind something so horrific. And then it was reported allegedly that the guy, the 15-year-old that was doing the shooting, that it was a gun that his father had purchased for, I think, during Black Friday or something like that, and how the parents indirectly involved, allegedly indirectly involved, and knowing, and I believe I even saw some reports where some of the kids, because it had been talks around the school, and someone, one main thing that I want to bring out to the HMV fam, how important it is to listen to our children. Because some of the kids, it was reported, some of the kids had been talking about, you know, speaking about what could possibly go on. Because I believe the guy had said it, had been telling the kids that he was going to shoot up everybody or shoot up as many as he could. And so one particular kid was reported to ask, he asked his parents, could he stay home that day? And he stayed home. And look what happened. And it was because that parent stopped and she listened to her kid. I didn't know whether or not he or she didn't know if they were telling the truth, but they trust their kids. It's important that we trust our kids and we listen. We stop, we listen, to our children, because especially if they're coming to you and they're serious about something. If my child come to me talking about shooting, I'm gonna take a double take. And he will not go anywhere in that surrounding or anything until I know that none of that is true. But the point that I want to bring out is listen to your children. But I want you guys to shed some light on this. Go ahead, Queen A. What do you think about this Oxford shooting?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's horrific. I don't know what in the world is going on with the world lately, but it's like they mimicking other shooters. And
Yes,
when I read his story, that's what he was doing. He was trying to mimic other shooters, and he said he wanted to create the most fatality than
yes,
all the other shooters. But I believe his grandmother reported it. His grandmother she went through, she noticed some signs, and she went through his journal, and she mentioned to her husband, she waited till he went to school the next day, and she
yes,
dropped him off at school because she was the guardian. She dropped him off at school, and she went into his guitar case and saw some things involving where he was planning a mass shooting.
mhm,
So she did. She went and reported it. I don't know if it was too late, but she was concerned, and then she reported. She mentioned that she didn't want to do it, but she was concerned because she loved him, but also she recognized something was not right.
yeah,
So it's very, very sad that happened. And I don't know what goes in the mind of these people, but also I want to bring up really quick. I know it's kind of off topic, but did you all hear about the Kentucky congressman? Like right after this happened, he showed a picture of him and his family holding guns, even little kids holding guns. And then the tweet, he said, "Santa, bring on the ammo."
oh,
So it's like, what are people thinking? And it's like you're so insensitive to even bring that to the table right after this mass shooting had occurred, and you saying it's okay for children. In some places, especially the Midwest, they do things like that. They hunt, they train their children to hunt. But to do that right after an incident like this, that's kind of insensitive. So.
horrific, as you mentioned. Don the Realist, what do you think about this? Horrific.
I
Listen.
think it's crazy,
Hmm.
and what's even more crazier, allegedly in Michigan, there was another school where they arrested 8 kids for posting online that they wanted to do the same thing. And also in Texas, they've been watching people's social media and they've been broadcasting on social media that they're going to do the same thing. So the FBI and DEA and everybody's involved now, and they coming after these kids. But one thing
Wow.
that I did like what they in Michigan, they are holding the parents accountable.
Hmm.
So, maybe now the parents will start, they would think first before they stick, a rifle in little Joey's hands.
Hmm.
But,
Yeah.
it's one thing I don't understand is that how when it was said on the news, how he was taken without incident and he was standing there with his gun in his hand. So, you know how I'm going to look at it. If it was someone who
Hmm.
looked like me, they would have took
Hmm.
him down.
Yeah. And I
You
think
know, it,
someone did try, yeah, that looked like him.
you
That
know,
did try, but they lost their life. Yeah, a football
right.
player. Hmm.
So, it's just crazy the world that we living in now. It's just
Yeah.
crazy because and it's sad to say after that other guy that got off a couple of weeks ago, it's gonna be a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be a lot more because people gonna believe that they're invincible. They're
Yeah.
above the law.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah.
You
It's
know.
only going to get worse too,
Yeah.
but one thing I wanted to ask you guys and bring to the forefront, um, did mental health come up for you guys with this kid?
Absolutely.
I
I mean,
yeah.
just the
Anybody who does something like that got a mental illness.
you know, but it's like it's like wow, yeah, of course he was something is going on up there, but think about because like you said, you heard that other kids posting or saying like they want to do the same thing. It's like, are we like losing focus on our kids' mental health? We've lost it on our own. But to worry about, where's your child mentally? How healthy? And I guess because parents, so many parents, not all parents, HMB fam, but definitely a lot of parents are not mentally stable. So you know how it carries on, it travels to the child. And so to see where the kids, it almost make you want to mourn to see where our children are today and how just rebellious they are and just how they are willing to take whatever chances. Like we would have
But you
thought
know,
twice our generation. They don't think, period. Go ahead, Queenie.
you could tell that those children in the that does stuff like that is craving for attention. And sometimes children would do like crazy stuff just to get attention. And
Yeah.
but not to go to the degree of that. But you can definitely tell because his aim was to make sure he was, make sure he got the most. He basically like outbeat everyone who did a mass shooting in the schools. So he wanted to outdo them and outbeat them. So that's someone who's craving attention in a sick way, though.
Yes,
um,
absolutely.
but you know what? His parents seemed, I just reading a little bit of the story, his parents seemed like they had some issues as well. And,
Yeah.
so yeah, so, and it being that the grandparents had guardianship over it, that shows
Mhm.
a whole nother, story. But what drove him to want to go and kill, people in the school? But
Yeah.
it had to been something that he was feeling inside, maybe feeling rejected. I'm not giving reasons why, he did it or kind
Or
of
justify
condoning
him.
why he's doing it, but just looking at some of the things that children go through and what they may be feeling that parents or teachers or whoever don't know. And some of them, some children are awkward, some children are eccentric. And so you got to pay attention to those things, pay attention to those signs. And when children are eccentric, awkward or something, you got to know how to reach them because kids at school is going to be, they like considered the outcast. Kids at school will reject them or do certain things that make them feel even worse and give them even more ammunition. What was that guy? You ever saw that movie? Jeffrey,
Dahmer? Was it Dahmer? You talking about the
something like that.
killer?
Yeah, the serial killer. And I was looking at his movie, and it showed how he started off as a child. Like he was doing sick stuff, and
Yeah.
and then you see as an adult, what happened. But he was a very awkward and eccentric child. But not too many people paid attention to him.
Yeah.
So he was off doing stuff that was just kind of not too right, and you see what happened later on. So
Yeah, I know, and we talk and we talk and we talk about it, but what could be some of the solutions when it comes to the children? It's almost like public schools have forsaken when it comes to investing in the children. I don't know, you guys can correct me. I know you don't have any babies. I'm the one that should have that information for you because I do have one that's in school, not public, but in school. But it appears and it seems like the kids aren't being invested in, the ones that are in just public school. And it's almost like, because I'm sure you guys go on your social media and just scroll, and you actually run across some videos of kids in the classroom cussing the teacher out. I saw a video, I think it was just this past week, one of the kids, the little white girl, cussing out the black substitute. I'm gonna call my mama, calling her bitch because she didn't want to do any work.
Well,
So,
look, listen. We say uh, mental illness, right? It's beyond that. All these kids are vaping. All these kids are using synthetic drugs because drug is supposed to be legal now. When drugs wasn't legal and it wasn't made in the lab, kids wasn't doing this craziness. Think about it. All this stuff they inhaling and all this other crap got their brains gone. Now, as far as a student cursing out a teacher because there's no repercussions because the teacher can't put their hand on a student.
yeah,
Now, if you take it back 25, 30 years ago, when the teacher was able to knock out little Joey, you wouldn't have that problem. Because guess what? When the parent would come up there, the parent would whip that child behind. So then you got to think about it like this. Most kids that are in a two-family household, both parents are working. So they're raising themselves.
yeah,
What are they doing? They're on social media. They imitating the video games. So
yeah,
they want to be like these rappers. They want to be like Grand Theft Auto. So they imitating what they see on a screen.
yeah,
So, and they think it's okay to go out there and disrespect women, get high, and just do whatever they want to do, shoot up a school.
yeah.
So, it's a whole broad spectrum of things that should be done. Can it be done, or will it be done? That's the thing. But like I said before, if you start holding these parents accountable for their kids,
Absolutely.
they will stop doing it.
Don, you brought up a very valid point.
Very good point.
Because it's a lot, because the world is going towards more social media. Everyone is spending more time with social media, whereas before family mattered. We're back in the days, years ago, people spent time with their families. And that just goes to show that, in your family with your children, it doesn't matter how old they are, you need to take time out to just stop and talk to your family, your children, your child, or whoever. Spouse, family, whatever. It's important to have family togetherness, and that's what we're missing, and that's why everything is occurring the way it is. We're missing the bond and the unity that we once had.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. What's that show? Love and Hip Hop. My daughter loves it. If Love and Hip Hop raising my daughter, I failed as a parent. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I failed as a parent if a TV show is raising my daughter.
Yeah.
Wow.
And one of the key components that families are missing today, you gotta keep yourselves and your kids prayed up. A lot of us like to sweep the spirituality of it all. Oh, kids don't understand. That's the time where they need to learn. That's building that foundation for when they are young adults and to, older adults and to, old enough to really understand life. With them having that solid foundation, that's why we got to raise them up in the way that they should go, just like, the Bible tells us. So that's one of the main. I didn't say that's it, but that's definitely one of the main. And it does cover everything else. But that's one of the main. We got to keep prayer in our families, in our lives. We got to teach our children how to pray. We got to teach our children about our Lord and Savior. We got to teach our kids about the very foundation of existence, because there is a foundation. When we begin to understand and become aware of our makeup, and they're young, but these little kids are coming out working on good. They're able to work an iPad better than better than any of us. They're coming out smarter, not wiser, but smart as in intellect smart, books and stuff. They got it. They know they can create stuff, they can design things, they're coming out smart. Like I mentioned before the show, my little 10-year-old is at his friend's book signing. She's 12 years old. Do y'all hear me, HMB fam? He's at his friend's book signing. 12 years old. She's at a book signing. She has her own book signing. And he's there supporting her. So these kids, we're doing it at 12. Y'all attest to that? At 12.
It's Saturday night. My youngest is 19 years old. Most 19-year-olds are looking to go out.
Yeah.
She just finished her Zoom prayer meeting that her and her friends came up with.
Yes, absolute. Tell it. And I think the way they promote showing butt and titties and guns and I got the best wee and the best cuckoo and the best, smoking that stuff, that has every name blunt, where it's legal in a lot of states and it's not legal in other states.
Yeah.
If we can promote the positivity side of what our kids are doing, and I just mentioned again before the show about how while my son is away supporting one of his little friends at her book signing, he had other little friends to come over and say, "Will David meet us at church tomorrow?" Little 10-year-olds are coming by, knocking on the door. Yeah, is he going to meet us for church in the morning? If you're not going to take them, you could just bring them by the house and my parents will take them. If we're not raising our kids in the very beginning, because although when we do become of age, that 20, 21, we go through that little journey because we all got to discover ourselves. But when we go through that journey, we got to remember that the foundation is laid. So although we may decide to stray away because that's just some of our makeup, we got to test the waters and see just how really cold it is out there. Mm-hmm. Once we realize how cold the world can be, how cold life can feel sometimes, we'll know our way back. Mm-hmm. Because we were raised and we have a solid foundation in who we are and whose we are. Mm-hmm. So we can find our way back. But I believe if we support and we promote as much as they promote, I am one person that will not shut my mouth, and everybody that knows me knows. I will speak and promote the truth. I will not shut my mouth. And to see situations like this is daunting, and it's taxing on your heart when you're a parent, because just think if it was one of your kids that was lost, nothing, frivolous loss, just for no reason.
But you know what? Sometimes I wonder, is this genetic, right? DNA, because. Like that guy, Jeffrey Dahmer, whatever his name is.
Look him up.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah. Like it shows that he had some childhood trauma, but it showed that he was already kind of like, had some issues mentally from a child. So sometimes I wonder, of course, social media, of course, it's the parents. Sometimes it comes from experience, but sometimes I wonder if it's genetic, if it's in their DNA. Do they come out like, it's just questions that you wonder, because, some children you do see. I was watching the Phil show,
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil. Don't help me.
Don't break no more.
So anyway, Dr. Phil, on one of his shows, they had a little girl and she was 3 years old, and they were showing how she was like really doing crazy stuff. So she took a pin and she was trying to stab one of her friends with a pin. Now and the child is only 3 years old. So that's why I said, sometimes I wonder, is it genetic? Is it something that, that occurs or something that's happening? Because that's not, at a young age, she was doing things like this. She was beating up her mom. You saw in the video where she was banging her head against the wall. What possessed her to do something like that? So sometimes I wonder if it's genetic. Were they with some type of deficiency or something? So
yeah, it definitely can be. That's proven science. It's proven in different families. Proven in my family. There are some, some loose screws. And
But
so
that
a
is
lot,
definitely up to the parent to recognize it and
absolutely,
get
and
help
get the help.
early.
Yes, get the
So,
help that's
so you know,
required.
I was in Target the other day, and it's funny because the lady at Target, she was talking to me. She said, "You know what? I feel like just taking those kids and just smacking them." So it was a couple. They were in the store in the Target, and the couple, I guess like a little child they wanted something, the parent wouldn't give it. So the man walked off because he got frustrated. Where the woman, so she was dealing with it. Where to me, the man should have took hold of that situation. But anyway. So the child was upset and he done tore up the whole Target like that. He went like this and poured everything off the shelf. He started smacking and yanking his mother, and all the mother said was, "Could you stop, please?"
Knock him out.
So
Knock him out.
me and the lady at Target, we staring at each other like that. You know, she was the she worked there, so her and I staring at each other like, "What just happened?" And I wanted to take that child so bad, like, just beat the child. So, but she continued on shopping, and everybody looking like, "What's going on?" Tore up the whole shelf and didn't say anything. And the man walked away. I guess he felt embarrassed. But to me, they should have, handled that better. And these are
Did
situations.
they look like us?
No.
Okay, then there you
I
go.
didn't know
See,
that.
that listen, that's what happens when your parents are brothers and sisters.
Mhm.
See, a lot of that mental stuff comes with all of that goes on out in wherever. So we got to think about that too. So
Mhm.
It's real sad. We can talk
it's
all day
sad.
about this.
It's
Yeah,
sad.
we can, but our message is parents, please begin to raise,
Raise
get
your
the
kids.
help. Yeah, raise your kids and get the help that you need so that the kids can get the help that they need, to be just better little citizens in society. So definitely get the
Yeah.
help. I do want to shed light on another. I don't know. This seems like epidemics all around that's going on in LA. I was reading one of the articles, and I know that we talked about the. We're going to mention about the Fairfax article of the robbery that's going on and how two men were wearing a police type vest. They attacked some victims and stole, money and jewelry. But I want to mention how, and I was reading. I can't remember the article. I don't know if it was one of the posts, and it was reported, it was just within a week, over 200 robberies in
Yep.
LA reported just in LA. I'm not talking about the entire, not the state, but just in LA. I know when we hear LA,
It,
we think of the whole state of California. No,
it
that's
was almost like a robbery. I mean, like a riot, and it was done during
yes,
daylight. I wish we had the video to play it, but it was crazy. I was watching the video, and it was crazy what happened. I think it was Nostrum, where they a
mhm,
whole, but
yep,
it was an organized crime scene where it was so many people that got together and they ramshacked during the day high end retail stores, and
mhm,
it's just and it's like they collectively came together and they made it where it was so much of them that the cops could not pin down one person. So when I read the story, it's been something that's been going on for a while. Like it's a major organized crime that the FBI was involved in LA, in California, because this is something that occurred here and there. But this one, right after, I think it was right after Thanksgiving, where occurred, and it happened again recently. So it's something where it's a major organized crime that the FBI is really looking into. But it was you have to watch the video because when you see it,
yes,
it looks insane. And what they
yes,
did,
Yeah.
they just ransacked everything, took whatever they can, just wipe out the store. And it wasn't just that store; it's been a whole bunch of stores that they've been doing that too. So it's just insane. But I don't know what's going on.
Well,
But
they've
it's the
been.
fact that the DEA, like these people posing as a DEA. I had heard a story in Atlanta recently where a guy was posing to work for the apartment building. He came and befriended, a couple, whatever, and got into the apartment and walked out with their safe. Like I'm like, are you kidding me? And come to find out, he didn't even work for the apartment. So you got to be aware and be careful with who you're associating with, and just be aware of what's going on in the world because it's getting crazy.
it is. Donna, what were you going to say?
Um, they've been doing crazy stuff in Fairfax for years. It's just becoming more regular now. And as
Right.
far as that smash and grab, they do that a lot of different places. They just doing it on a
Yeah.
bigger scale out there.
Right.
And what's going to happen? Um, not promoting. I'm not promoting violence, HMV fans. This just the this is just the world according to Donald.
Make it
If
clear.
if I'm a store owner and you acting like you don't have no sense and you think you're gonna take a sledgehammer through my window and take my goods, I'm gonna take a few of you out. And that's what's gonna happen. People are gonna become vigilantes and they're gonna start doing that because you gotta protect your own.
You gotta protect
And
your
guess what? If you're a store owner and you're licensed to carry a firearm to protect your business, it's gonna be a whole lot of innocent people dead because of a bunch of nuts.
Mhm.
Say it.
That's what's happening.
You know what, Donald? You're
What's that?
supposed to have a podcast. That
Oh,
podcast, the name you said, The World According to Donald. You are
Yes.
that's how you are supposed to have a podcast, and it will be very successful.
thank
The
you.
World According to Donald. That should be named.
We'll talk to Sandrine about that one later.
You can actually, it can be a spin-off of our show, or you know how they have you're connected with us because you are.
Uh-huh.
Hello. It's all
Of
about us.
course.
It's all about us.
But yeah, I'm telling you, I seen the video that you was talking about, Kenny. It's crazy. But the thing is, though, let me ask you this: you go in Nordstrom's. It's not like you going to the rack and seeing what size it is. You just grabbing stuff and gonna run down the street and think you're gonna go sell it at the Swanson shop meet or whatever it is, whatever they're gonna do. The guy was up there taking hats one at a time, like he was actually shopping. It was crazy.
Right.
It was really crazy.
You know what? They had, and they also had another thing that happened, I believe it's in Fairfax, where you got to see this video. It was a guy recording it, and he said, I just need to record it because I want to see how far you want to get. A person came at TJ Maxx and put on a whole bunch of items and carried stuff out and was just walking out the store. And people looking at this person, and no one did anything. So the guy who was recording it said, he said, do you mind? I'm going to record because I just want to see how far you actually going to get out this store with all that stuff on. And the person,
They were dumb enough to say, yeah,
Well, supposedly in California, the way California is structured now, you could do almost anything and don't get in trouble. So if a person do walk in the store and grab something and walk out, you cannot do nothing to them.
So, and you know what? I'm glad you brought that point because they had something where the policy was, I guess they uplifted it because of the whole pandemic thing, where before California was trying to go for a no bail policy. But now that, so a lot of those people who got caught, they released them because now they lifted the no bail policy because of the pandemic.
Yes.
So
Right.
the
Just like New York.
Yeah, so the jails are
And-
overcrowded now. So
Yeah.
because they're overcrowded, a lot of people went away scot-free because they could not hold them or keep them. And they
Yes.
didn't have a major crime. I mean, that is major, but it wasn't like they killed someone. So now they got off scot-free.
But then look at how the crime has increased because they've released those.
I mean, it's not in their record, but the fact is, they didn't serve no time for it. So
They're like, hey, they went out and oh wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Be aware, be alert, watch your surroundings, HMB fam. That's the message. That's the moral to the story. Watch your surroundings. Don't be stupid. Just don't be stupid. Didn't I say on the last show how you can help folks just by telling them the truth? Don't be stupid. But you know, Queen A, like you said, if there's no repercussion, how will they? And they won't leave that state. Try to do some of that stuff here in Texas. Just come on.
Oh, they're gonna come to New York because New York is a free for all now too. They do whatever they want.
well, I ain't gonna say Georgia. Georgia.
I'm
you
not gonna say
know,
Texas. Did Stay on up west and north.
Yeah.
Don't come down south because the
Send
south
the nuts
don't
up
play.
here.
The south don't play. Speaking of north, this story really touches my heart because I'm definitely a fan of the Cuomo brothers. I am definitely a fan of them, and I know we have two New Yorkers on this show, and I know you guys are. Point blank. Period. You know, because their resume is crazy. They've been on numerous, shows. They've done numerous things, in politics and government. I just really hate the story. It's kind of like, it's a very sad thing because no one can tell me that they would not, and then if they do tell me that, yeah, I'm sorry, I would not have helped my brother because we know the story, that CNN fired him because they found, proof that he helped his brother, during the time when his brother was in all of that, and he was keeping him aware of what was going on, when he was in all that government mess that was going on in was it New York. And he, kept him alert, kept him aware. There were messages, text messages, I believe, allegedly was found. Just all kind of proof, evidence was found, and that's his brother. And again, it's a hurtful situation because I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, he was wrong, because he had ethics, he had to oblige by his, the company's policy. Bump all that. Family over anything, blood over anything. I understand now. If your relative is going out to kill someone, that's totally different. No, you're not going to go out here, and mess up. But when it comes to something like that, keeping him aware, keeping him alert, and the little minuscule things that represented, especially when it comes to politics. You show me one right, and then maybe we can have a different conversation. But show me one that's pure and one that's right. PURE. Show me one that's ethical and one that's right, then we can have a different conversation. So I really just commend both their bravery. I commend his bravery. I know this is, I don't really know because I don't know him. So I can't say this is probably a major embarrassment for him. But I can guarantee he will bounce back. I guarantee he probably got an offers right now.
Yeah.
What he stand for. This will not, and that's the thing about with companies and society and networks. They think that they can kill someone. They think they can put someone in a bubble. They think that they can take someone's career. You can't do anything if it's meant for that person to do. If that person goes down, you had nothing to do with it. You was a part of the process of him on his way down. Okay. Right. So no one has anything. If something is meant to be, it's gonna be no matter what direction journeys or turns left, right, whatever, however they get there, they're gonna get there. So companies, like I said, bosses, managers, you just a part of their process of their destination. So I really wish you well. And I know that, like I said, I believe they're smart. Isn't Chris an attorney, Chris Cuomo? Isn't he a lawyer?
Yeah, I believe, yeah.
Hello.
But he didn't do anything wrong. I don't understand it. Him and his brother are sitting down having a beer, discussing life. It's not like he was. It's not like he was in law enforcement or anything like that. Andrew Cuomo, I met him one time because I'm union. He was always good for the New York City unions. So that Cuomo family can do nothing wrong in my eyes because they made sure that we made a lot of money in New York City because of different projects that the rest of these nuts were trying to, stop. So Chris is going to be good.
Yeah.
Chris might get his own show. Who knows? Then he could really talk about what he needs to talk about. But
if anybody close to Chris, if y'all run across and say, get your own show.
Yeah, he's all right.
You know what they were saying? So they caught some text messages that he was sending to his brother. Yeah. And apparently he should not have done that, right? So it was information that's supposed to be held confident.
If his news is not confidential.
Confidential, right? So
if his news is not confidential,
right? But hey, that's how they say it's a term for it. But they say if you already have access to certain information, it should not be disclosed before it comes out. So that's what they were saying, that they had, some information that was disclosed before it was actually brought out to the public. And they said that he should not have done that. But it's his brother, it's his family. So initially, he's going to do something or say something about it, especially if it's something pertaining to the career, his family, or whatever. He's going to mention something. So.
Our producer just said Sirius XM, satellite wants him. And I think didn't he have a show? I thought he had a show, but of course, with his TV, he probably couldn't keep it up or whatever. Probably put, later to the side and say, maybe I'll pick it back up later. But I'm sure, and there's probably, especially with something like this, and we know their history, we know their background, we know how they support all. Hello, community. We know how they support us. They stand for what's right. And I would say I'm not a New Yorker. I love New York, though. Y'all know that.
I know it's ridiculous.
I love New York, but I'm not a New Yorker. But watching certain states that had high numbers, I don't even want to talk about where I'm at, Texas, but that had high numbers of the COVID cases. I thought he did an excellent job. I mean, it was rough. And there was a lot of numbers, but people still came out. New York, I mean, it's a little different. I know I hear from y'all. It's a little different. But still, I thought that he kept things together and he handled it to the best of his ability. And I just think it was a setup because they're so hated. Hello, they're hated in politics. We all know
Yes,
that.
they are. Yes, they are.
I definitely would say I felt like it was if you want my opinion, it was definitely a setup. We all know the orange hairs and stuff and the little orange hair that may have been behind.
People against them for a little while now. It's been people against them for some time now.
Yeah, but
Listen.
we do know the main big orange hair person with his little junior orange hair. We know that they probably had a lot to do with it. But
Trump, y'all, Trump.
But and along with
Trump, he couldn't stand him from the time.
Exactly.
It's a rep, and I just heard something in the news. It's a rep that just quit because they wanted to run, or they're going to run Donald Trump's social media. So they just quit. And the world, I'm like, I don't know what the world is coming to. I don't know what's going on, but they took their position in politics to run his social media campaign. So
somebody from Texas, I'm just saying. But anyway, I'm just saying, it would not surprise me. Texas or Georgia. It would not, or Arkansas, no, stop. But it would not surprise me at all if it was, yeah. But it's just really sad. I won't even shed light on the other accusation because I really have my words. But I think that's for a Patreon conversation about, certain women that have certain things to say after the fact when they feel like they got a rope and they can just grab that rope and just, run with it. We won't even shed light on that. But definitely we wish the Cuomo brothers much more success, and we know this is just just another chapter for the both of them. Another chapter.
So really quick, the guy name is Republican Devin Nunes.
For what state?
California, actually.
What?
I don't know what's going on in California. He's from California, yes. Congressman Devin Nunes quit, stepped down so he can run Donald Trump social media. So
sick people.
Beyond.
And but I don't know what's going. Listen, I don't know what's going on in California, but they must be reaping somehow because it's too much stuff going on.
It's way too much. Way too much. Moving on, they're not worth any more energy.
Thank you.
Crazy people. But Cuomo.
That's right. That's one man.
So y'all, let's get more on it. It's a serious but yet still entertaining, but this actually exists, especially more so around the holidays. And the question is this: we want to pose this question to our HMB fam. How do you cope with pressure to spend time with toxic family members during the holidays? We know a lot of times our families get together during the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. I think everybody do their own thing, if not partying, they're in church, or just at home relaxing and want to bring the new year in with their significant other or children. So how do we cope, during the holidays with those family members that are just messy, with those family members that may have addictions, with those family members that, jealous? I mean, just bringing drama and hell every single holiday, or, just in their lives in general. And then that they're coming, for the Christmas dinner, or they're coming by for the Thanksgiving dinner. How do we deal with those type of? How do y'all deal with them?
Can I have this one?
Go ahead, Dom.
Oh, yeah. Yes. First of all, I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
100%, 110% man. I don't have to deal with nobody I don't want to deal with.
110% man.
110%. I don't have to deal with nobody I don't want to deal with.
Right.
My close family, my friends know. Don't ask to come over here because you're gonna get embarrassed, especially if you're not right. You are not allowed to come past my gate if you're gonna come here with some foolishness, whether it's my family or it's my family through marriage. We do not play that foolishness here. I don't
So
care how
let me
many holidays it is. I don't care who birthday it is. It does not bother me one bit. Don't come here with your nonsense because you will get thrown out.
I gotta pose a scenario. So
Yes.
what if it was your, I'll say your daughter, because that of course daughters and and parents. What if
Okay.
I'm ready. Look at Donnie. He's ready.
Go ahead.
He's ready.
No, because I probably threw him out already. Go ahead. Ask me. Go ahead.
What if your daughter, her husband, I mean, of course, your daughters aren't married, but just a scenario. What if your daughter was married to this guy that
Wait, I just have to say, Donald is posed up ready. He like in the camera.
okay.
Go ahead. Go
I mean,
ahead.
because you made the statement like no,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I do not tolerate. But what
Okay.
if one of your daughters, and this is possible, you gonna preach it, but it's possible, married a guy that was just not up to your approval standards,
Okay.
and every time you were around them, they came around, they always argued about whatever. And you know the history in the background of them because she's been back for. But we're talking about toxicity here, but she loves him, and I don't know what he does with her or whatever as far as love or whatever. But that they got that bond and they just cannot let each other go. And so the holidays coming, here he comes. He's gonna start something because he know you don't like him. So he's gonna say something out of turn just to get next to you. And he know he's gonna have your daughter, who you so dearly love, is gonna be on his side. How would you handle that? Because we're talking about holidays, dealing with you're not gonna turn your daughter off. You're not gonna say no. If
You're a
want
liar. Listen,
Donald!
first of all, first and foremost, no man in a right mind gonna argue with my daughter in front of me. That's one. Two, if I decide to go upside his head and my daughter don't like it, she can leave with him.
Donald,
Yeah.
you will tell your daughter to get out.
Yes, you could go with him. If you want to be here and I rock this dude's jaw and you want to cry over him, no, you could go too. See you later. Take your little boy and take it with you and get out. Oh, yeah, we don't play that. We don't, no, we don't do that. No, we don't do that.
Queen.
Nah.
Well, for one, I don't hang around toxicity long. If it's family, I may go for a bit and just kind of like, first of all, I don't welcome it in my home, but if I'm going to family members' home and that's just their character, that's just their way, because they're family, I will go but I won't stay long. I put a time limit on it. But if you come into my home, it's a totally different situation. And to your point, Donald, that's what happened. Something like that happened with my son, where he came to my place with his girlfriend who was disrespectful. So they both had to go because that's your girlfriend, and you allow her to come in my home and act a certain way. Now y'all both got to go. So yeah, I agree. I don't play with not in my house. If I go to someone
well,
else,
my daughters, the ones that are dating. Well, all three of them, I guess they are. The youngest one just started. They explain to them what to expect from me because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just not going to do it. That's not what I do. I'm not your friend. I'm your father. I'm not their friends. I will speak to them because you're dealing with them. I'm not sitting down watching the game with none of them knuckleheads. I'm not doing it.
Right.
So that way, when they do get out of line, I don't feel bad. Oh yeah, because you will be calling your parent, and then I'm gonna tell your parent exactly what I did. And if your parent got a problem with what I did, tell him he can come talk to me too. And I got enough to give both of them. But that's another topic. Don't worry about it.
So Shalonda, how do you handle it?
Who, me?
Right, Shalonda, because she asked the question, but she didn't answer the question.
No, Shalonda gonna call. Shalonda gonna call me. Shalonda gonna call me, and I'll come down and take it.
Let me tell you something.
That's right.
Tana don't know that Shalonda don't. You know, I can handle it. I was say this.
Don't try to put a sweet voice because that's not how it goes down.
I would definitely have a conversation.
No. Let's be honest. It's no conversation.
I'm gonna have a conversation with them. I don't need no help. No, I
It's a
got
waste of time.
I promise you, it's never a waste of time when it comes to me having a conversation with someone. It seems like they always vanish once I'm done. Wait, where you go? So I don't have to push anybody out. I don't have to make somebody get out. But when they feel the wrath of Shalonda, either they're gonna get it right, or as always, they run. It's the truth. I mean, it is the
Listen,
truth.
I run.
Don the Realer, no joke. Once I don't have to say, get the hell out of my house. I don't do any of that. We're gonna have a conversation. You don't want to have a conversation with me and you're in the wrong. Anybody that knows me. You don't want to have a conversation. I don't back down. I tell the truth. Until it's a done deal, we just like
Let me tell you. Listen,
you know what?
Coach Shalonda is a sweetheart. She is sweet, but she has that side to her that you don't want to get a part. You don't want to be a part of. You don't want to see. I have experienced it, right? And I have run from it. And she said to me, "What you running for?"
I'm like,
on the phone, she called me back. What you running?
I was finished with you.
See, look, my thing is, I don't want to deal with toxicity. That's what. I'm just joking.
But John, it's almost like I'm like the Sandman. Like you take off. No, you come back here. Didn't he have that hook? On the bottom? Mm-hmm. Because you need to notice. Maybe if you're aware of how you are at the moment, because how you are at the moment may not be how you really are, and someone just need to help you discover the real you. So I definitely plant that seed for a lot of people. Praise the Lord. I definitely do. So let's move on. Let's move on from that time. HMB fam, the more to that story, have a conversation. Stern, firm conversation. Let your family member know it will not be tolerated, period. Now, if you're okay with it, then hey, that's your business. You're okay with it.
Some people just like drama anyway, so they want to be around that foolishness.
But you know what? Some people also, some family members accept it, and it's just they deal with it, and that's just some people know how to deal with it. Some people accept it, and that's just that's just how it is sometimes. So
absolutely.
But especially during the holidays, you will experience some family members like that, and again, you don't have to be nasty, but you can be very upfront about respecting and having boundaries on it. So that's the important thing. Have boundaries, and make sure they respect you as well, and you respect them. So
yeah. I'm excited to talk about this next topic because this topic can go a little deep. But would you give up everyone and everything in order to do what you love? I definitely would say this in society today, me seeing, especially millennials. I don't see, can you guys, y'all have millennial children, but I don't see the majority. I'm not gonna say every millennial, but definitely that generation. It's all about them. It's all about self. I don't see the strong ties. I don't see the family foundational building as much as in our generation, and especially in our parents generation. But I see how it weakened, because it did weaken in ours, and it definitely weakened in the millennials. But it definitely, this question made me think about them. Would you give up everyone and everything in order to do what you love? I've seen it, not to where I've heard, but I've seen it, not to where I've just read, but I've seen it where no one matters. No one matters, but only that they love, So, and I can't say it's a bad thing, because it's about their life, and they're building their life, and they may not want children. They may not want to get married because they have this huge dream that they want to accomplish. So sometimes, it takes a lot of sacrifice to build that dream and to follow your goals and your purpose, and to build. It takes a lot of sacrifice. And if you're dealing with someone, you guys aren't like married, y'all are just dating or whatever, and it takes a lot of sacrifice and build. And I've seen it to where there have been individuals that have had children, and the grandparents will raise the children so that they can pursue their dream. Now, of course, we know that can go twofold, because it's like you need the money nowadays to raise these kids because it's super expensive. But that question shed light on where is your mind really? What's important? It's making all this money important to you and forsaking all else, including family, including everything. This question is, would you give up everything and everyone that's a part of your life? Because you can give me up and I'm not a part of your life. I don't care. I mean, but the people that are part of your life, the people that are in your life, shed some light on. Tell me what you guys think, Queen A.
So, this was a challenging question for me.
No.
So, for me, I'm a very ambitious person, and sometimes I put my career over everything else. So, and I've been, I've gotten reprimanded for it. Some of my relationships have suffered for it. So I'm learning, don't agree too much, Coach Alana. You think you had way too much. So, and don't fix your face.
Right.
But that goes to show why I'm probably single to today, So even meeting people and going out, I still need to learn how to invest time. And that's what I'm learning. I'm learning balance because I've seen people do it. I was in a relationship where he did it to me, where he felt like he felt like he didn't want to get married because he wanted to pursue. He felt like singleness was better for him to focus on his business. So I know what that feels like. Now, it depends on the situation. I'm not saying you should not, but I believe that it takes two to make things work. The Bible speaks about, having two. The Bible speaks about two, because you can't do everything alone. And most people, not most, but some people will try to give up everything and everybody to pursue something. But guess what? If you have two, you can make it work. You can get there faster. It's a saying, it's a quote. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know the quote exactly, but it says something like, with one, you can go fastest, but with two, you can go further. So with two, you can definitely go further. And that's my whole thing that I'm now realizing after years of learning the experience through it. Like, I cannot do it by myself. So it takes two to fulfill a dream. And if you both come together and you fulfill the purpose of what you will make together, and it doesn't have to be, sometimes you can come together and you may have a dream, he may have a dream, or you come together as a partner in business. This person may have one way, this other person may have another way. It doesn't mean it don't work. It just means which one we're going to put first. And we make sure that we put this one first. Then we go back and we work on this. So that's what I'm learning. I'm learning the importance of bringing together, collectively a vision to make the vision work. So that's my take on it.
I like that. Don the realist, come on, let us hear.
Well, is it worth losing your family over money? Because that's what most people leave a lot of stuff behind for, is money. Now, money doesn't always make you happy. What Puffy said, more money, more problems.
Yeah.
Now, back in the 80s and early 90s, I had way more money than what I have right now. But I'm happier now than I was back then. Because now I don't have to worry about the police or the, enemies and all the rest of them. Now I'm happy. I'm content. I'm good. Would I have left my whole entire family to chase a dollar? Absolutely not. That was not going to happen.
Mhm.
Some people, they do these things and a year later they sitting there miserable. I'm not going to be 70 years old sitting on the porch rocking back and forth with 100 cats. No, I want to play with my grandkids.
Wait a minute now.
You're right, because at the end of the day, you're left alone. You may achieve some level of whatever it is you're trying to achieve. You may, achieve some level of success, but at the end of the day, you're left alone to celebrate that success on your own. So, it is important, and it's such a great feeling when you have someone to celebrate it with. No matter how challenging and difficult it is to come together, especially when you're working in partnership, it takes a lot to work in partnership because guess what? You both are reflecting each other. As hard as it may seem to even comprehend that thought, like I like this person is nothing like me, but it's something because when you're in partnership with another person, it reflects what you need to work on, maybe a strength or a weakness. So if you're working alone, you can't tell the areas in your life that you need to improve on because you have no one to bounce it off from. So you need people, you need partnership in order to fulfill, the next level of success.
And that's something I don't. I'm sure you guys watch a lot of motivational speakings and teachings. And one thing I noticed with like a lot of like top like Richard Branson, Tony Robbins, Les Brown. Come on, help me out, y'all. So
Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas.
Yeah, 100, 100.
Yes. Yes.
Honey. I'm a huge fan of his.
Yes.
Eric, the hip hop preacher, that's what they call him, right?
Yes.
Bishop Jakes. Hello.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You know what?
So many. We can just continue to go down the list. Many of them. Joel Osteen, Creflo. They always pay homage to their families, to their, you mentioned partnership, Queen A. They always say it was because of my wife, or if it hadn't been for my wife, or, and I'm talking, I don't know if Richard Branson is still married or is married. I think he is, but, I've heard him speak on family, but definitely the others. And what's that man named? Is it Warren Buffett, him, and Zig Ziglar? I'm talking some heavy hitters here that talks about how important it is building. Now I know we know Dave Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
How important it is they are crazy successful, money and all. We don't know the intricacies. We don't know what's really going on, as far as like they having a drama. All of us have drama.
Right.
But they've arrived to where many of us are trying to get. So they're there. So with drama and all. However, they always promote how important family, how important partnership, how their partnership has contributed to their success. They do not forsake their wives. And I'm not trying to say, I know I named a lot of women. I'm sorry, a lot of men, that's successful. There are a lot of women too, and they're married. And vice versa. They, of course, hello, it's in us. So it's innately in us. Of course, we're going to, mention our partner, but how they always, this is more so focused on them because we know they're strong. They were created to be the breadwinners, but how they never, ever have not seen where they've forsaken to give acknowledgement and give credit to their partner. You mentioned partnership. That's very significant. So I understand.
You know what? I know we're going to end soon, but really quick. So for those who've been watching, everyone knows, like, it's a gift of mine that I'm learning as I get older, but I seem to attract relationships, right? Like people with relationship challenges.
Every single time.
No matter, I can walk into a store and I will have a person connect with me and start to tell me about their relationship. I will have couples that will come to me and talk about their relationship. So I do coaching, and one of the things I coached was a woman, and she was having some challenges with her partner. They were working on getting married, and so she had me talk to him. Like I talked to them, separate and then together. So she had me talk to him, and one thing was funny because he said, and Coach Yolanda, I'm not going to mention this because Donald will be like, whatever, but yeah, I told you about this story a little bit. But anyway, the guy said that he felt like he could not pursue what he wanted to pursue because she was in the way. So I said, okay, please tell me, how is she in the way? Like, name some areas that she's in the way. So he was naming everything that just made no sense. So after hearing himself, he recognized, oh, wow, like she's not in the way. It was just me stopping myself. And sometimes, and that's what happens. Sometimes people think that the other person get in the way. The person can't get in the way. They get in the way if you allow it. But when you say another person get in the way, that's only an excuse to run away because you don't want to deal with stuff that's going on within the relationship and also possibly inside of yourself. So, in this situation, he felt like he was delayed in his life because of her, where it wasn't her at all. It was just an excuse to get out of the relationship. So, sometimes we got to be honest with one another, and we got to recognize the person doesn't get in the way. Now, the person is toxic. That's a whole other situation. Then yes, that person is getting in the way. But if a person is not toxic, you want to look at, well, is it really me that's getting in my own way? And I'm just making excuses because possibly maybe I don't want to be here. But then you got to look at, well, why are you there? So, there's a bunch of questions that may come up in a session and that people need to recognize when it comes to partnership. Because again, sometimes people say, I don't want to be here. It's not because they really don't want to be there. They just don't want to be held accountable.
Yes.
So that's a whole nother topic, but I just want to say that really quick because people don't like being held accountable, especially men.
Whatever.
Especially men.
Whatever.
That's going to be a topic, and we're definitely going to invite our special co-host, Don the Realist.
Yes, please do.
To speak up for the men because it's
can we bring your wife on?
No.
You don't want that.
Then I gotta behave. No.
No, she knows. Listen.
Yep, she knows.
Because Don, I want to say this. I commend you though, because I know you all probably been through some things, but I commend you, especially as a Black man. No, seriously, especially as a Black man, because you he blushed because you have been with your wife for years and you're determined to stay in that marriage, and it's like to death do us part. So I really commend you on that because
like I told y'all before, 9 out of 10 times it was something stupid that I did. I admit it. I know it's me. Mm-hmm. I know it's me. Yeah, right. I mean.
But see, I'm glad that you admit it, though. I'm glad you admit it. But one thing I have to say really quick before we go to, we always seem to get on topic of relationships. That's how I know God is dealing with relationships. But look at Donald's face. But it is a very important. I forgot my point. It is a very important. I had something good to say too, but I forgot. But anyway, relationships is especially the year that we're going into next year. 2, 2, 2, 3 twos. That's a patriarch conversation. I tell y'all what that means, but it's going to be a year to focus on balance when it comes to health, relationships, balance in work and life, but more so relationships where people are going to want to give back into community, give back into relationship. So that's going to be something that a lot of people are going to be really looking into next year and just kind of, figure out their life, and love may be on the agenda for a lot of people next year. But again, Donald, I really commend you. It's powerful that you stay in it and you gotta
have fun. I tell Shalana, no, I think I told Shalana. I think I told you too. Mina went to Atlantic City last weekend. We went to go see Earth, Wind, and Fire. Now, I always tell people I like when people see her shining. Mm-hmm. I love that. So when we was in the elevator, these Caucasian people was like, "Oh, y'all look real good. Where y'all going?" And I'm sitting there grinning from ear to ear, like, "See, I told you."
I told you. Let me tell you, I commend her.
I love that. I love that.
Now listen, I commend your wife for putting up with you because I know how you are. You probably a lot to deal with. So
she knows how I'm gonna get when we step out. So I told her, "Don't let me shine. Do you?"
Hey, Karina Williams said better health and wealth for me. Next year, she's going to be focused on health and wealth. That's it, girl.
Yep. Yes. Health and wealth. But you can't be rich and sick.
What'd you say?
I said you can't be rich and sick.
You know what? I know that's right.
Can't be rich and sick. Be healthy and wealthy.
Next year, I was saying this, y'all. Hold me accountable. I will focus on relationships. Karina said, right.
We wish you the best with that, my dear.
I am. Let me tell y'all, because I haven't focused so
Don
much
the
on it.
realist.
No, seriously, hold me accountable, y'all. Watch what I tell you. Y'all gotta be shocked. Watch what I tell y'all.
Karina, you hear
As
your
long as
character,
as
right?
long
Karina?
as you're happy, that's all that matters.
Like,
As long as
Karina
you're
said,
happy.
okay, then she put laughy faces like. No, you know what? I'm content. I'm a person that I am content with me, but I am even more happier with another. So,
Okay.
stop the people who watch it. I said, I could have a possible man watching it and be like, you know what? She don't seem like she's ready. Listen, I
All right.
am.
Yeah, she ready, y'all.
She
ready.
she ready. She ready. She ready. She gonna make somebody very happy.
I'm ready. I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Well,
She gonna make somebody very happy.
um agree with Queen A, Don the realist. You definitely represent for the men. We love you. We love when you come on and represent for the
Thank
male
you.
energy on our show. We love it. And
Thank you.
we're definitely gonna have talks behind the scene about this according to the book of Don. What's the name of the, the podcast? What is it gonna be?
According to the word of Donald.
I say according to the book of Don.
You know what? Please don't even get
Oh
a
God.
That means a book's supposed to be coming out.
The world according to Donald. The world
The
according
world
to
of,
Donald.
oh, I done tore it up. Okay.
The world according to Donald.
The world, we don't talk about this. It's all about us. But anyway, but yeah, you definitely represent. We're gonna also in the coming year, we're gonna have more, especially since this is a year relationship, as Karina said, health and wealth for her and for so many others. Because that's definitely what we need to be focused on. I think the year is about that too, right? Queen A, health and wealth. I mean, health and wealth.
Yeah, the
And
six, it
definitely
represents right. It
but if
represents.
your health ain't in order and your money ain't right, the love
Oh
ain't
yeah.
tight. Anyway, it's complication can bring complication. But we want
But
to.
poor people, they be like, it's some couples that's poor, but they the happiest too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's about
You're looking
how
at it.
Yeah, but
you know that's a lie down. But it's about how people make it work though. It's not about the money that you have, it's how you make it work.
But we ain't gonna support Happy and Poe.
No, you
No,
don't.
we're not
Some people are in that situation. Some
Right.
people is in that situation. But
Right.
if they know how to be happy, people look
Exactly.
for answers to be happy. Some people may say money make them happy. Some people may say sex make them happy. Some people may say, that was like, some people may say, well, but they find excuses as to be happy. But you can be happy in the space that you're in. It's all about gratitude. Just being happy where you are.
That's true.
We always looking for more.
HMD fan, we have a lot of things, coming up for you. And Don the realist, we really we're going to focus a lot on building the man up. I mean, you have a journey, you have a story a lot of people don't know, but you've come a long way. You mentioned little bits and pieces here and there, but we here. I hear. I hear and I understand that path, and we go along those paths so that we can have so many. And the path may not be the exact same. Everybody's journey is different. But the point is we all have a journey. And it's not all peaches and cream, and it's not all crystal clear, and we made all the right decisions and choices. But it's about learning. It's about evolving, and so we definitely want to focus on our men and our community, and how we can build and uplift, and we're going to focus on so much. So HM fan, we have so much in store and treats and things that are in store for you, and we really take out the time because we love and we want to support and promote better health, better wealth, bringing people. A lot of people don't understand their purpose in life. That's important. That's major. Not understanding why do I exist. Some
Why
people
you here?
Yeah, why am I here? Once you become aware of why am I here, and there's a path to that you will take that is in your life that's right there, right before you, but because you're not clear. But there's conversations that needs to be had so that you can become clear on the why am I here? What should I be doing? I don't know. And so you feel that you feel that void. not feel, not FIL, but you feel FEEL. You feel that void in your life because you feel like something is missing. And so we try to feel FILL. We try to feel it with people, picking all the wrong folks. We try to feel it with working ourselves to death and not enjoying anything or whatever, addiction or whatever we can grab to just feel that void and not really confront ourselves because we are our main and our biggest issue, us, not other people, not your enemy, but you. You are the main person that you need to confront. Once you confront you, your life will begin to change. So we thank you, HMV fam, for tuning in tonight. We love you as always. Y'all are so supportive. Miss Karina, we love you. Queen A is my best, the best, and best, and best of friend. She and I definitely have stories that we can tell. And so I feel like, her family is definitely, y'all don't know me. I'm in Texas. So when I did go to New York, I didn't meet the family. But, I had other things in store, was taking care of other things. But I definitely just, whenever, your family member come on, I just want them to know who I am. I'm her bestie.
I told Karina that you want a spot in the wedding. You want the spotlight. So y'all gonna have a fight with that. She said, "What part of Texas?"
Dallas.
Dallas.
What does she know? That she don't know Flower Mound. I'm in Dallas. That's the city, but I live in Flower Mound, which is a little country town, country suburb. She said, "Love you too." Oh. Here we go. Okay, y'all. HMV fam, we are way over time. We love y'all. Stay tuned next week. I think we can go out with our Christmas dedication. I don't even know. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, y'all, to our YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Love y'all. Good night.